In this video, I will show you how to install Flutter in your Mac. This video is for Intel Mac. If you have the M1 chip, check out the next video. First, you will go on flutter.dev. You will click on the blue button Get Started on the top corner, and then you will find Mac OS. You will go down until you find the Get the Flutter SDK, the blue button, and you will click on it. This will download Flutter. It may take 5 to 10 minutes. Then you will go inside Finder. Inside this one, you will go on Documents. It's very important that you follow all these steps. You will go on Documents. You will press Command Up. This will bring you to the home folder. And then you will press Command Up again. And you will take your home folder. Mine is called MacBook, but yours will be your name, I guess. And you will click on MacBook. In MacBook, you will create a new file called Flutter Dev. Okay? And then what you will need to do, I will just clean up to make it clear, like this. And I will take my Flutter file that I just downloaded, and I will put it inside my Flutter Dev folder. Okay, so you can see we have the Flutter Dev. If you click on Home, you click on Flutter Dev, Flutter, and you see the Flutter the folder bin. This is important. You will need to remember this one. Next, you will press on Command Space and you will open a terminal like this. First thing first, if you have the version Big Sur or Catalina, you can follow the steps. You can continue the steps. But if you have an oldest version like Mojave or High Sierra, then you will need to go at 4 minutes 33 of this video. So let's continue with the newest version of the Mac. You will go inside your terminal and you will write vim space the curve /dot zshrc and you will press enter. This will open a file. You will click on I to insert things inside this terminal. You will scroll down inside the flutter.dev documentation until you find the update your path. You will take the step 3 and you will copy this one and paste it. It should look exactly like this. Good. Next, what we will need to do is remove the path to Flutter directory. So we will remove this. Make sure that you have exactly the same thing, because if you have something different, it will not work. Go back inside your folder, go inside MacBook, it's the home folder. You click on Flutter Dev, Flutter, and you see the bin folder. So this is the path we need to give the terminal. Inside you will write $home, make sure that you have exactly the same, /Flutter Dev. So you see the home folder, the Flutter Dev, Flutter, and bin. This is the path to the file bin. Next, you will press Escape, column WQ exclamation point, and then enter. And you should come back to this screen. Good, we have updated our path to the Flutter bin folder. Now you will open another terminal and you will write Flutter Doctor and you will press enter. This should load for 5 to 10 minutes, and this is to download Flutter. So I will just fast forward, and this is what you will have at the end. You see the check mark near Flutter? This means Flutter has been installed successfully. It's good. We will close the terminal, and we will reopen again. And inside this one, we'll rewrite Flutter Doctor, and this time it will take maybe 5 to 10 seconds to load. And you will see, once again, if you go up, you still have the check mark near Flutter. So it means everything worked fine. You can close it. You have successfully installed Flutter with your Mac. Now let's talk about the oldest version of the Mac, Mojave or High Sierra. You will still have your terminal, and inside your terminal you will write vim space dot bash underscore profile, and you will press enter. Inside this one you will press I to insert things inside. You will go back inside your documentation of Flutter. You will scroll down until you find the section Update Your Path. And when you have this, you will take the third one. So the point number 3, you will copy this and you will paste it inside the bash profile. Make sure that you have clicked I before to insert things. Then you will remove the path to Flutter Git directory. Actually, we will remove everything. So I will delete everything and I will just keep $path column. What you need to do is you need to go in your Finder. Inside your Finder, you will find your bin file that I told you. You will drag and drop inside the terminal. And also make sure to add the comma at the end. So make sure to have something like this: the user, your user, Flutter dev, Flutter, and bin. Then you will press escape, semicolon, column WQ exclamation point. Enter. Good. You should come back to these pages. This means the path has been updated. You will close the terminal and we will reopen the terminal. So I will open the terminal and inside I will write Flutter Doctor. Here you go. I will press enter and this should load Flutter. It will download Flutter. It might take 5 to 10 minutes. Good. I will just fast forward and now you will see the check mark near Flutter. So this means Flutter has been successfully installed. I will close the terminal and we will reopen the terminal just to verify if it worked fine. We will write Flutter Doctor another time and this time it will take maybe 5 to 10 seconds. You will go up and you will find the check mark and Flutter. So that's mean Flutter is successfully installed. That is great. So we have installed Flutter on our Macintosh. What's up, universe? In this video, we will install Flutter for the Mac M1 chip. We will click on Get Started, macOS inside flutter.dev website. Then you will find the section Get the Flutter SDK. You will press on this big blue button. And then when it is done, you will go inside your Finder. And in your Finder, we will need to find the highest level folder of our Mac. To do so, we can go on Document and you can press Command Up. You will now be inside your computer folder. So I name my computer MacBook. Then you will press again the Command Up. You will take your main folder, call it the name of your computer. For me, it is MacBook. And inside this one, you will create a brand new folder called Flutter Dev. Perfect. Now what we will need to do is first clean up this file and we will take the Flutter folder that we have just downloaded, so the SDK, and we will drag and drop it inside Flutter Dev. Good. So now if you go back inside your computer folder, Flutter Dev, Flutter, and you will find the bin folder. Be sure to remember this one because we will use it later. You can press Command Space to find the terminal, and once the terminal is open, you will need to write inside vim the little wave /dot, and it will be ZSHRC, and then you will press Enter. Good. Inside this one, we will press on I to insert information. And the information that we will insert will be inside the documentation. We will scroll down until we find the section Update Your Path. And inside this one, we will take the first and we will copy it. We will paste it inside our terminal and then we will modify a couple of things. So we will go on the left and we will remove the path to Flutter. And instead, what we will put is what we have inside our Finder. So if you remember, you have your home folder. So for me, it is MacBook. For you, it will be something else. You will remember that Flutter Dev, and then you have the Flutter and the bin. So what you will need to do is write the $. So first of all, we will say $home, and then you will say / and you will say Flutter Dev. So home is your main folder. For me, it is MacBook. Perfect. So now we have at this export, we will say escape, semicolon, WQ, exclamation point, and enter. Good. Everything is done for this part. Next step will be to open the terminal and write Flutter Doctor. Great. Now you will press enter and Flutter will download a couple of things. This may take 5 to 10 minutes. When it is done, you will find, if you scroll a little bit up, the Flutter with the check green mark. That means Flutter has been successfully installed. Next, you will close this terminal and we will just need to verify if Flutter is still accessible. And we will write Flutter Doctor once again. This time it will be very fast and you will find Flutter on the top with the green check mark. That's good. The little last thing that we need to do with the Flutter M1 chip is you will need to go in Finder, you will need to find your applications, the utilities, you will go inside, you will right click terminal and get info. And you will need to check the open using Rosetta. So be sure that this is checked and you are good to go. You will go inside your terminal and you will write the last command called it sudo gem install ffi, and this will download everything required for the CocoaPods. Perfect. So you will enter your password. This will download a couple of things that nobody really know. And now you can go on the next video to install Android. In this video, we will install Android Studio for our Mac. First, we need to go on flutter.dev. And inside this website, we will scroll down until we find the Android Studio section. So if you scroll, you will find it eventually, Android Setup. You will download and install Android. Good. So now we are on the website developer.android.com. We will download Android Studio. And I will say, I will agree the terms and I will download it. If you have the Android version of Mac M1 chip, then you can download the M1 chip. Right now I have a Mac with the Intel chip. Good. So this has been downloaded. I will click on it and I will click on the download that we just did. The download may take like 5 minutes maybe. I will just fast forward things. Then you will take Android Studio and you will drag and drop inside the application folder. Good. So this is copying Android Studio in our applications. You will see it is right there. Next, I will close this window. I will close also the internet and I will double click on Android Studio. So it is opening and then we will say this is from the internet. We will say open. This will open Android Studio. We can quit the folder and let's go. This one will say OK. So we will not import configuration. We will do it from scratch. So Android Studio is still loading. Next, the data sharing, I will say no. And for this page welcome, I will say next. And then you have the choice, standard or custom. I will use standard. And then I will use the dark mode. I will say next. And I will finish the installation. So this is downloading all the components for Android Studio. I will fast forward. And then this might ask you your password for your computer. I will enter my password and I will say OK. So as you can see, I have the Intel chip. But if you have the M1, you should download with the M1 if you have the possibility. I will say OK. So it is currently creating and I will just say finish. Next, we need to go on configure and preferences. Inside this one, we will go on plugins and we will go in the search bar to write Flutter. We need to install the Flutter plugin. We will find the first one and then I will click on install. I will accept the condition. The second pop-up was to install Dart also. So I installed Dart. And now it's asking to restart the IDE because we have installed Flutter and Dart. So I will restart it. We have successfully installed Android Studio and we have added the plugin Flutter and the plugin Dart. In this video, we will use the Android Studio emulator for the first time and we will accept the Android licenses. First, you will click on Create a new Flutter project. Then you will click the first one, First Application, and you will say Next. You will then go on the project name and call it, by example, Flutter App Testing. Now we need to have the good Flutter SDK path. If it's empty for you, then you will click on the three dots and you will go find the SDK path. It's on your home, Flutter Dev, Flutter, and you will see you have all the files inside. This is the good path. Good. Next, you have the project location. Just remember where it's saved. So you click Next, and you have just to click Finish after. And this will create our first Flutter project. You will see the little pop-up right there. I will just click on Fix It. If you have it, just click on Fix It. Good. So now Android Studio is loading. This Android Studio is a big program, so it takes time to load, and it's normal. Then you will click on AVD Manager. So I will click on the icon, and then you will see a pop-up will appear. If you have no device, you will need to create a new virtual device. Otherwise, you can just fast forward if you already have a device. I will click on Pixel 4, I will say Next, and then I will download the latest Android version, which is the Air version. Maybe you will have a newest version. That's good. Next, I will click on Accept and I will say Next. I will fast forward the downloading, and at the end, I will just click on Finish. When it's ready, you will click on Finish and you will say Next to go on the next page. Okay, so we have the Android virtual device and we can modify things, but everything is good. We will just click on Finish. So we have created a new virtual device. I will click on Play because I want to open this. If you have a pop-up like this, just click OK. It's not a big deal. It will still work. Then you have the would like to access your microphone pop-up. I will just say OK. And then you see this is the emulator. It's currently loading. If your computer is not very good, it may take a lot of time. So I will just fast forward again, just to don't lose too much time. Maybe you will have this pop-up. You just click on Close App, and it should be good also. If you have problem, just try again to relaunch the emulator. Eventually it will work. Then you will click on the play button at the top. And this will launch your first Flutter app. So this may take a lot of time. If your computer is very bad, it will be long, maybe 5 minutes. So I will maybe fast forward this part also. And here we go. We have our first Flutter app. It's the very basic app that Flutter gives us. It's a counter app. You just press on the plus sign and it counts numbers. I will just quit the emulator. So you will see a little pop-up. I will say, okay, no. And I have quit the emulator. Now what we have to do is to accept the Android Studio licenses. You will press on Command Space and you will open the terminal. Inside your terminal, you will write Flutter Doctor. So this should open, this should run something, and you will see Android Studio, Android Toolchain, this section. And you will need to accept the Android licenses. You will copy this code and you will paste it, Flutter Doctor Android licenses. And you will press Enter. So I will just make sure that no space are allowed. So make sure that it is like this. I have put this on the screen how it's supposed to be written. You will press enter. And then they will ask you multiple questions. You just press Y to say yes, and you press enter to say okay. So Y, enter, Y, enter, Y, enter. Just to accept all the licenses, and after it's done. Then you will write Flutter Doctor again, and you will see you have the check mark near Flutter, and you will have also the green check mark just near Android toolchain. That means the Android licenses has been accepted successfully. Inside this video, I will show you how to install Visual Studio Code inside your Macintosh. First, you will go on internet and you will write Visual Studio Code or Visual Code, and you will click on this link. Good. The next thing is to download it. So I will click on download for Mac. If you have the pop-up download for Mac M1, then do it. Then I will click allow, and this will download VS Code. When I say VS Code is Visual Studio Code, is the same thing. Then I will click on VS Code. This will open a pop-up. I will say open. This is just asking if I want to open an app downloaded from the internet. I will close the internet page, and now you can see we have Visual Studio opened. I will close the pop-up and I will maximize the screen. I will then click on Open Folder, and I will go find my project with Flutter. So I will go on Home, which is my MacBook, Android Studio project, and I will click on Flutter App Testing. Next, I will click on Library, and I will click on main.dart. You will see this pop up, the Marketplace as extension. Click on Search Marketplace. This will open all the extension for Visual Studio, and then inside you will write, by example, so you can just click the tab and you can write ext column Dart, and you will install Dart and Flutter. You need to install these two extensions. It's important to work with Flutter. Next, we will install something else. Call it the Awesome Flutter Snippet. And this will be useful to make our life easier with Flutter. We will then download another one, and this one will be the Bracket Pair Coralizer 2. This you click install. You will see if you go back inside your main.dart file, you see this is with the pair bracket coralizer, and this is without. And this is with. You see the difference? You can have all your bracket with colors, so it's easier to understand Flutter. The next thing we will download is the material icon theme. So I will install this, and you will see if we go back inside our files, you see we have now icons before all tab. After, you will press on the play button and you will select Start Pixel. This will trigger the emulator. Make sure that you are inside the main.dart file to press the play button. You will maybe have a pop-up saying Dart Dev Tools include right there. I will just click Never Ask Again. Perfect. In this video, I will show you how to install XCODE and how to get your simulator to run your Flutter app. First, you will need to go in the App Store, and you will go inside the search bar. You will search for XCODE, and then you will press Get and Install. I will fast forward, but this will take maybe 10 minutes. Good. Next, I press on Open. I will open XCODE. I will need to say agree the terms and condition. I will enter my password, the password of my computer, and I will press OK. This is installing components. The pop-up of XCODE will open. I will close the page of the App Store. I will go back, I will quit XCODE, and I will press Command Space. And I will open the simulator. Because when you download XCODE, the simulator gets downloaded at the same time. This is the simulator of Apple. And we will run our Flutter app on this emulator. You will then press Command Space and open Visual Studio Code. We will run our Flutter app from Visual Studio Code into the simulator. So if you remember, you see this little pop-up. Would you like to use recommended VS Code? I will say yes. Good. And next, you will need to press on play, but make sure that you are on the main dot to see the play button. So you press on play, and the application should be triggered on the emulator, on the simulator. So you see on the terminal all the line of code. This means that it's running, and you can see the Flutter app has been running on the simulator. So we are done with the Flutter installation.